Yeah, schmack. Is very nice.
Nice. Nice.
How is everybody?
I'm well.
Yeah.
I'm well. A little bit sad today because Sir Captain Tom Moore passed away.
Yeah, he did. I saw that.
Yeah, that's sad. But
yeah, he went out with a bang, no, didn't he? Bless him. He did.
He did us proud.
Yeah.
Raising all that money and at his age doing what he did was fantastic. So yeah, I'll drink to
Captain Tom.
Captain Tom Moore. Cheers.
Yeah, it's on the back of last week's podcast. It was a good podcast one. It was good to have Lyndon on.
It was great content.
Good to have.
I never realised I looked so much like Cilla Black.
Yeah,
it's uncanny.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about yourself.
You twat.
Yeah, we've. I've jumped on the Movember bandwagon, but a little bit late.
I see you had.
Yeah,
I see you had, mate. Yeah, I was going to say, have you jumped on the latest fad?
Yeah. The truth of it is, I've got facial hair of like a 13-year-old, so I can't actually grow one. So this is courtesy of Zoom lot. It's great. Look at that.
Mine is real.
I was thinking if it suits me. I've been trying to let the missus let me have one, but she keeps saying no.
It does, mate. Actually,
it proves that I do look like a 70s porn star, which is the kind of the look that I'm going for.
I was going to say that and cross between
a creep in a bus stop.
Freddie Mercury.
Or Freddie. What do you think, though, eh?
That does suit you, mate. That yeah, I think Defo the Tash.
Let us know, everyone.
Yeah.
Let us know. Can everyone see?
You actually look like a sort of like 1930s to 40s noir sort of like detective, sort of like what you'd Private Eye.
Well, that could seamlessly link into to where we're going with this, because I could be on the hunt for the next trend, Mr. C.
Yes. Next trend.
The next trend.
We've had a few of them, haven't we, recently?
Yeah, like it got us talking, didn't it, about especially like during these lockdowns of the crap that people have been jumping on.
Well, the biggest thing in the last couple of years that I found is, and it's been on the TV, it's virtually in every fast food joint you go in now, even in Greg's, they're offering vegan sausage rolls. They're they're pushing the it's not an agenda, is it? It's just like everybody encouraging everybody to become vegan all of a sudden. And I know veganism's been around for a long time. I mean, I know vegans. I mean, my old martial arts instructor was a vegan. But just lately, it seems to be like everybody's like, because they're pushing it more and more, I'm going to do it. And I think in my lifetime, certainly, things like that have happened. I mean, I'm going to use this as an example. Drinks, we've changed in what we drink recently. I mean, what gin and tonic's become trendy.
Oh yeah, gin bars have popped up.
Yeah, gin and tonic, whereas you went back not even 5 years ago, it was all you saw in a bar was Gordon's Gin, Beefeater, and Bombay Sapphire. That was it.
Kind of went.
And now you've got every flavour tonic, and
there was like a bit of a craft ale boom, wasn't there? You know, everybody wanted craft ales, and it kind of like between craft ales and gin, that they kind of took over everything, haven't they?
They have, yeah, definitely.
Well, back when people drink in a bar anyway.
Well, the amount of microbreweries that just popped up recently, and yeah, that goes talking of microbreweries. We still haven't heard from the ones we've been. Come on, what's
buy our own bloody beer?
Yeah, we'll have to start brewing our own, mate. Hey, that's an idea. Lincoln Table beer. Yes.
It might sell as well as our podcast, Mark.
Makes you talk like shit, like we do on the podcast after.
Hey, sounds like a winner in my eyes.
It does.
But yeah, there's been definitely gin and craft ales and stuff. But there's been like the crazy trends, like TikTok's just blown up on it over this. Definitely through this lockdown. I know it was a bit before, wasn't it? But
yeah,
the lockdowns really boomed TikTok.
Oh, definitely.
You see kids walking down the street doing little what they're doing.
I remember a craze going around a couple of, probably 3 years ago. You know the video game Fortnite.
Yeah.
You saw kids like doing this flossing,
which
is like the silly dance what they did where they imagine a piece of.
How does it go?
I'm not going to demo it, mate. No, just you catch the drift. Maybe you can put a little picture up so we can explain it to people who've never heard of it before. I'm sure everybody's heard of it. Anyway, I was in Woodall Spa with some friends of ours, and she's got a little boy, and he turned around to me and went, "Uncle Mark, do you floss?" And I thought, you cheeky little bastard, what are you trying to say about my teeth? Like, and I didn't catch on, and I sort of looked a bit vacant and a bit gone out. I was like taking a bath, thought,
well, no, but I brush my teeth.
I was like, don't hold back, you know. And then she says, "Oh no, you're not seeing the video game Fortnite." And then I realised, and I saw all the kids doing it, and yeah.
So, do you floss?
No, I do actually floss. Yes, I do. I do floss, but not the Fortnite floss. No.
Yeah. Can you remember any trends from when you was a kid?
Oh,
big trends.
The biggest trend when I was a kid in the 80s was everybody wore luminous clothing. I don't mean like. In fact, you wouldn't if you were wearing it now, you wouldn't have to wear high vis on site because you could see people from coming miles off.
Yeah.
That was a trend. The biggest trend was, and it'd be classed, I shouldn't use this word because it's a bit stereotyping. I'm going to use it, sod it. People can complain. Chavvy sportswear. People were really into like, they jumped on the bandwagon of wearing Sergio Tacchini tops, Lacoste, Kappa.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a Kappa jacket when I was a kid at school, and it had the Kappa stripe. I wouldn't even dream of wearing it now. I'd look like one of the cast-off Shameless if I wore it.
When we was at little school and Kappa poppers came in. You remember poppers?
Yes.
Popper trousers, and it was like
yes, I do.
It was a sort of trend where the more you had them open, the cooler you were. So like you could have your Kappa poppers on and be popped like past your knee. You know what I mean? And you were the dogs. Like you were top man, top boy.
Another thing that was a trend when I was a teenager, and it's become a trend now, I think, because of Peaky Blinders, people wearing flat caps as sort of a fashion. I mean, to be fair, I've had one years, and I do wear one if I go out in town and it's on a cold day out. But that's become.
You still wear the razors in yours?
Yeah, I've still got them, mate. Yeah. Trilbies was another one because of the ska era music.
What's the trilby? Long jacket?
It's like a little
Hat.
Yeah. You must have seen them.
I think maybe, yeah,
like Madness, like what Madness wear.
Yeah.
Like
a small miniature hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were all the rage when I was at school. They went for a rage, you know, they're like the little, I mean, you see, like, I'm going to stereotype people again. The vegan and peace protesters wear the little button badges.
Yeah.
You remember them? We used to wear them on our Parker jackets. Parker jackets were all the rage.
Yeah, when we were kids, like band badges and that were pretty big.
Like, that's the little button badges, the band. Yeah. It's they were all the rage.
It's funny how these sort of things do full circle, isn't it? Like clothing trends and that.
Oh, definitely.
I feel like now, like clothing trends they're completely different now. Like you see young kids and they're wearing like 300-400 quid's worth of clothes. When we were kids, it was like a pair of trackers in the top and some scruffed up trainers. You were lucky if you got a decent pair of trainers like twice a year.
Yeah.
Now they look smart. Haircut once a week.
Well, that's it. I mean, I would have a decent pair of trainers that would last me, and now kids nowadays, it's like I mean, I was lucky if you had like a designer top. There was only a few kids that would probably get one. Very rarely see you would see kids wearing stuff like that. But now it's everywhere.
Because your parents knew you was actually living a real childhood, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you'd actually go out and light fires and roll about in the mud and actually play outside.
Yeah. But,
and do actual things that kids should be doing. My trainers that I wore, they were football trainers, they were brakes from a bike, they were dossing trainers, you know, they were everything.
Yeah.
So they just got wrecked. You know, you had them for a week and they were wrecked.
Another thing that was everybody wore. What's the trainers with the little white? They're like the boot. Can't remember what they're called. And they've got like a little white rubber button on either side.
Oh, like Air Max type, like cushion.
No, they were like a proper American thing, but a lot of kids used to wear them when I was growing up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Those you seemed to go in for the boot trainers. They were quite trendy.
High top type things.
Yeah. Fingerless gloves were trendy in the 80s.
You can imagine. Yeah, I can't really think much when we was kids. Like it's just you had your in school trends as well. You know what I mean? Like you in school, you had to have one strap. You couldn't have two straps because you was a geek. You had one strap. You know what I mean? And we always had to wear school uniforms with blazers and that. So the only thing you could wear was a coat. So if you didn't have a decent coat, you was a geek. It's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal at school.
It is brutal when growing up when you're a kid.
You have to have a half decent pair of school shoes. You can't just have any generic black shoes. They have to be like Base London or like I don't know, like a decent half designer shoe. Because you was a geek, if not.
One thing I can't get my head around, and I'm just jumping forward a couple of decades, probably maybe 3 decades now, is you don't see it so much now. It's probably 10 years ago. What about all them kids that were wearing them tight drain pipe jeans that were hanging round their arse?
Yeah, I know.
What was all that about?
We can't see it now. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
No, but that was a big fad.
I know, especially probably spending 100 quid on a pair of jeans as well. You want them to fit, don't you?
Yeah.
I never got that. I never got jeans with loads of holes in it either. Why would you buy a pair of jeans that are already wrecked?
Yeah.
And a little bit more money for them as well.
I'd say people, yeah, they will pay through the nose for them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I want a pair of jeans that are going to last a few years.
Another thing I've noticed changed in it was I know you have some yourself. I've got no issues with body art, tattoos, anything like that. But that has changed over the years. I mean, it was kind of not, I'm using the wrong word, not taboo.
Don't hold back, Mark.
Yeah, but I'm going to sound like a twat if I...
A mounging old bastard.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, but when when I was growing up, anything sort of like past your forearm on your hand, people who had tattoos and stuff, it was kind of frowned upon, or if you had them on your neck, anywhere that could be sort of seen past clothing was really, really frowned upon. But now it's like, I mean, you go to schools and teachers, it's just, and how things have changed and how society's changed.
It's funny this, because I know another couple of lads who do a podcast from Boston, and they own a tattoo shop, and they're actually doing at the moment like a petition to stop discrimination in the workplace of people with tattoos, because believe it or not, it still happens. But like exactly like you said, there's like a generation of people that, you know, you grew up. Even, to be fair, even my mum, when I was younger, it was like, you don't get tattooed because you won't get a job here, you won't get a job there. But
that's what I got told when I was younger. At school, we got told this by school teachers. If you went for an interview with a tattoo on your neck, you won't get a job. That was it. It was totally frowned upon.
I think there's been a shift in culture there. Like it's gone. Yeah. I think they've kind of gone from trends to kind of people like, it's kind of, there's a lot more expressive. People are getting it done because they want it done. They're not following trends. You know, there's artists now that can tattoo it on them. So there's been a bit of a shift in that. I definitely jumped on trends when I was a kid and regretted it.
Oh, we all jump on trends, Matt. We all do it.
Yeah, I mean, with my tattoos. And I jumped on trends and regretted it in my adult life. But, you know, that's the way it is. I've got them now. So, but that's one thing. That's one thing I'd say to
well, one thing I will say to you, Matt, is yours suit you. Now, I went back probably 10, 20 years ago. I thought about having one. My dad, he had tattoos on his arms, and I thought, should I get one? And I looked, and I couldn't see myself. It wouldn't suit me. It wasn't me. I liked him, and there was a particular one that I wanted, and I just couldn't see myself with it. And that's the thing. If you can see yourself, and I'm a big believer in it. It's like, again, old martial arts instructor of mine, he had a sleeve up his arm, tattoos. He said that's who he was. It's not
definitely. I agree. If I could tell a young person who wants one, I'd say wait until you've lived your life a bit and then get one, because then you know who you are. I think from 18 to 30, you change your life about 3 or 4 different times.
Definitely.
You don't know who you are in between. I think personally, anyway.
I'm actually a big believer here. You're actually trying to grow into the person you actually want to be.
Exactly. So you've got to take a few different paths, haven't you?
Yes.
So that's why you follow trends, because you've got to jump on something, because you know you've got to try, haven't you?
Yeah. Life would be boring. I mean, going back to another trend that I noticed, I was working, I noticed it more and more. I never realised it. There was a lad I was working with on site, and can you remember that tank film with Brad Pitt? What was it called?
Yeah.
During the Second World War, Fury.
Yeah.
Cracking film, brilliant film. How many people jumped on the bandwagon of having his hair done like him?
Skin fade.
Yeah.
I speak to barbers now, right, and that's the one haircut that pisses barbers off is a skin fade.
Yeah.
Because they're awkward to do, and everybody wants them, and they've got to like these lads. You need to get it done once a week.
Mm.
You know, I have mine pretty short, but I mean the skin fade. That is to your skin faded up, and I think it pisses barbers off. But that is a big that I think that trend came from there, didn't it? It came from that Fury.
It did. It came from Fury, definitely. Yeah, definitely came from there, and you know, that's like I say about this jumping on the bandwagon. There's all these. I mean, what about Jennifer Aniston off Friends? How many girls years ago wanted to look like Rachel off Friends? They all had the hair done, and
David Beckham. He was probably like
I've just been shouted by my other half, and she said, "Yes, I did."
There you go. There you go. It's like David Beckham. Like he was like my generation sort of thing as well at school, and you can guarantee if he changed his hair, everybody would have his hair cut.
Yeah.
Even as extreme. And then obviously that sort of generation then have grew up with him and everyone else around him. He also then started getting tattoos, didn't he? Which is, you know, that paved the way for all like, you know, people who are around 30 now, my sort of age now, following suit. That's why tattoos became so popular. It's why tattoo artists popped out the woodwork.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I'm gonna
say again.
Go on, carry on.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as women though, you know. I suppose men do it as well, but mainly, you know, mostly women. It used to be like just celebrities and rich people that got plastic surgery, and now it's just become so like mainstream and cheaper that
there's how many attractive girls that you see
exactly
have had these lip implants, and you just think, why? You're stunning, you didn't need it.
Exactly, and that's almost a trend. It's almost a trend. It's just the way that women like think they should be perceived as, you know, it is a trend in itself. Like they end up wanting bigger lips and bigger asses and bigger tits, and they end up just putting all this money in.
I blame all them reality shows, you know, like the ones with Made in Chelsea, with Katie Price, and she's the worst role model ever. Anybody who, we'll jump back to two trends, mate. I'm going to go right back to the 80s again. Another big trend. Everybody, when I was at school, wanted to learn some form of martial art like karate or kung fu, because martial arts movies were massive.
Yeah.
And a lot of people jumped on that bandwagon as well.
Yeah.
And then realized, like, didn't realize I had to start from the bottom, kind of thing. And
this is another thing as well, like being in boxing gyms and you know, growing up around people who box and stuff. Like I feel like that's had a bit of a resurgence from that's hitting a bit of a trend at the moment. Like with YouTube boxers and stuff. We spoke about that in another podcast.
Yeah. Well, it's like MMA. That's been on the rise. The amount of people that wanted to, that's become, because UFC have become so big, everybody's like thinking, you get a lot of youngsters now want to be the next Conor McGregor or Andy.
And it is definitely like a bit of a trend as well, because you're seeing these big YouTubers that are having a go at it and getting a lot of publicity from it, and you know, people are thinking, you know, this is big at the moment, we'll have a go, but which is really, I think myself, it's good for the sport, because it's attracting different people to it. So
what we do, mate, this is a trend.
Yeah.
Podcast. A lot of people are jumping on this podcast.
Yeah, watch the podcast. Like we said, we've said this before, haven't we? They were unheard of a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, unheard of.
Totally,
weren't they? And now it's almost like now it's well, I suppose it's just the way of the world. It's going to go down this sort of route, isn't it? Now they're almost becoming mainstream, aren't they? You've almost got to cipher through what you're watching now, because there's a lot of them with big productions and and almost the same as telly. So
yeah, it is.
yeah,
People like
very scripted podcast as well, which you've got to look for.
Yeah, alternative entertainment, mate, and that's
but it's almost becoming non-alternative because all the big corporations are buying them out.
Yeah. Another thing that everybody jumped on the bandwagon, mate, that we've not even thought about, and I've just thought about this, is everybody wanted to become a plumber years ago.
There we go.
Nobody wanted to go into it. I got laughed at when I left school.
Yeah,
I mean, I get laughed at now for doing it, but everybody says, "What do you want to go in that for?" Oh, fitting toilets, blocking drains, and maybe it wasn't as glamorous then, but as soon as the mainstream media got on the bandwagon, there's a shortage of plumbers in the UK. Anybody can earn up to 70 grand a year. That was it. Not true. Not true. Unless you work for yourself, maybe you get there. But that's.
I know a couple of companies are advertising it like.
But the amount of phone calls I got off old school friends saying, "I'm looking at getting to plumbing, and what's it like?
How do you want to do that for?
It's shit. Don't bother."
Yeah.
But you earn 70 grand a year, do I? Yeah. I haven't earned 70 grand a year.
Yeah.
So
find out where. Give us a shout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's definitely up there, mate. With I fell for it anyway. That's for sure. Yeah.
I think I just got shoved into it. I was like, there you go. That's what you're doing. That's that.
You're not doing anything else, so back off.
No. Well, there was only two options, mate, when I was at school anyway. It was either join the military or get a trade. So
I'd love to hear from because there's not really many people in my life that are really young at the moment. There is, but not that I spoke to really that I could say, what's the trend now at school? What's really going on? I suppose it'd all be social media, wouldn't it? TikTok, Instagram.
It is with the youngsters now. It's social media. Obviously, it's online gaming. I don't know what youngsters like watching on the TV. I know that quite a lot of the young generation like Love Island. Fuck knows why.
I haven't watched it ever.
I've watched it once.
Yeah.
Well, that's the kind of thing. I'll tell you another good thing about the younger generation, which differs from my generation, is they're more keener on keeping in shape and going to the gym, which is a fantastic thing. Because when I was younger, we used to play the sports. We were in an activity, but we wasn't. As soon as we got that rites of passage age, that was it, mate. It was every weekend out on the lash, and you see a lot of youngsters. That sort.
I feel like
15 to 18. They're not doing that. They're like, well, no, I want to stay in shape. I'll take it. They go out, and I think that's changed.
I feel like that's slightly a bit of a double-edged sword, though, because you've got what comes with that is consciousness of how you look at an early age, which is obviously due to social media and stuff like that, and like reality shows and stuff like that. What kids are watching.
They are put under pressure by that, and that's where it goes to the mental health.
The only reason you'd ever be conscious when you as a kid, when I was a kid, or probably when you was a kid, is if you was a chubby kid, you'd be the fat little shit or the fat bastard or fatty boy. You know what I mean? That was it. That was all you had. Just your mates that called you a little fatty, or you were ginger, or you had a big nose. That was it. You didn't you had it from your close-knit group, and half the time you could just get on with that, couldn't you? You could get on with whatever your mates had on you, you'd have something else on them. So it was tit for tat. Whereas now it's not just your friendship group that are targeting you; it's everybody that you put yourself out to on social media as well. So
it is, and also it's trying to keep up with, like I say, the next craze.
Yeah. So
Kids are more conscious now. Can I have the latest jeans because my mate's got a pair of them, and I won't feel right if I go out because they're all wearing that now, or they're all wearing the designer Gucci Hugo Boss top, you know, the latest trainers, and kids are put under that pressure now.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not about what's inside, it's about how people are looking on the outside, that people perceive.
Yeah.
And I think that's wrong, really. And a lot of kids are put under pressure. And I do blame stuff like, you know, the TV, magazines for this.
Social media massively, because like we're saying with trends and fashion and stuff, it only really ever went as far as your friendship circle, which was like the boys that you hung about with, boys and girls that you hung about with at the time. Where if you weren't on the latest trend or the latest thing, maybe your parents couldn't afford it, maybe you just didn't know about it because it wasn't spreading as quick as it does now. It wasn't viral, you know, like you probably just got a bit of shit from your friends. That was it. Maybe like the worst case scenario, you would have got a little bit of bullied at school, some people. But now it's you can't hide from it because these trends are going viral. So if you ain't got that haircut, or you aren't wearing them clothes, or you're not on this social media, or you're not following this celebrity, then it's everybody within everybody's social media platform. So you're getting bullied from people you don't even know, you're never even going to meet, you're getting bullied from. I can only imagine it's, you know, how hard it is for kids being involved in that, because you can't, you know, even if you, like you say to your kids, I don't want you to have social media, but you're not having social media, then you're going to get bullied at school because you've not got social media.
The thing is, Matt, that I watched the documentary on this, and this boils down to human nature, and it goes back thousands of years. And it's not until we get to a certain age group where you like my age and your age, probably, I know you're quite a bit younger than me, is breaking that cycle. Because what on this documentary I was watching, the human brain is programmed, it can't handle anything different. If you're, say for instance, you're in a group of people and an outsider comes in that's dressed differently to you, acts differently, might be a perfectly normal person. I mean, we had this conversation on a walk once. What do you define as normal? What is normal? But it's because you get these groups of people, and you get like an outsider that doesn't quite fit in with your agenda. You know, we can't handle that, and that's the problem. The human mind, it's just like, oh, he's different, and it's like when you start a new job anyway, people quiz you, don't they? Oh, what's your background?
Standoffish, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh, what's
yeah, a bit of poking first.
He's a bit odd. He's a bit. Yeah, and they're not. You know, at the end of the day, people do not like change, and that is the problem.
I got that.
We can't handle it. We're scared of it.
I always, when I started where I'm working now, I've always worn my pants over my trousers, and for whatever reason, everybody just started being weird with me. I just had, all I had was pants on outside of my trousers, and everybody kind of, they didn't like, they thought that was weird.
Well, we all got worried, mate, when you turned up wearing a lady's bra on the outside of your clothing one day. I was just like,
it's always been my normal. I mean, I've always been my only friend, but it's always been normal in my friendship circle.
Was you being your only friend, you talk back to yourself?
Oh yeah.
That's normal, mate. That is normal.
Yeah, allowed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's thousands of trends out there. There's trends that we can't even comprehend. You know, like now cities are getting bigger, and you know, platforms are getting bigger to share things. As you know, you look in China, there's people dressed as anime characters and stuff. You know, there's like big cities now where trends are just you think you're an individual. You might be the most obscure individual, like because you've got, I don't know, face implants because you want to look like a lion or something, or you've got cheekbones raised. But there's that many people on the planet, and that many people influenced by certain things. You're not the only person anymore, you know.
No, you're not.
So to call yourself an individual now is almost impossible. I think this is probably why people get so extreme with things, tattooing their eyeballs and having breasts so big that you can't even sit on a bus. You know, it's just ridiculous.
And where's it all going to end? What are we actually going to look like in 100 years?
There'll be, I know what it'll be like. It'll be like strange people wearing masks outside on the street when no one's around. Oh no, they do it already.
Maybe we ought to put them up on this podcast. But somebody sent me a picture of, what was it? The leaders during World War II to the leaders during the pandemic, which was obviously they were the three most powerful leaders. Like you've got
America, Russia, Germany,
and Germany or England. Now, like obviously, and they compared them. We had Boris Johnson, Vladimir Putin, and Donald Trump, and just like comparing him to who was, well, it was Winston Churchill, Roosevelt. Was it Roosevelt? Was it?
I think so. Stalin, was it?
And there was Stalin.
Yeah.
And there was a guy in his 20s in 1950s, dressed quite dapper, and they had somebody from now
with a man bun and tear jeans.
Yeah. You know how times have just changed, mate, and God knows where it's going to take us. So
we don't know, Mark.
We don't.
We just got to stay tuned, haven't we?
We have. And Matt, do we really care? No.
Yeah, I feel like I'm settling down very quick, very quick. It's not going to be long till I'm wearing driving gloves and loafers, Mark.
I'm already doing that, mate.
What, these?
You know what? When you look, and I work with quite a lot of the younger generation, and you give them a bit of a hard time, and you actually think, how was this bad?
Yeah.
I was
just go full circle. We just with a different trend on it, different trend.
I'm becoming my dad, you know, just saying, and you do. And
back in my day, wait, on this lad.
I found myself saying that, and I thought, fucking hell, I sound like my dad. I sound like my parents.
You know, every generation is just over exaggerated. You know, you go back. You would think that it was so over exaggerated every generation. If you went back 60 years, they'll be saying, "Oh, back in my day, I used to work for 20 pence, and I used to work 50 hours a day." You know, I had 70 kids to feed, but I still got on with it. Yeah, fuck off.
I bet they did, mate. Yeah. I bet they did. I'd love to be a fly on the wall, and I've always said that's one thing that's fascinated me about the Back to the Future film is I would actually go back and see how my parents did it, what they were actually like, if you could travel back in time and see how it was all done, whether it was better, worse, who knows? Who knows?
I think the open palms were harder and the drinks were stiffer. I think that was about the only difference.
But it goes back to the same scenario, mate, as what I mentioned. We don't like change, and that's it.
That's it.
At the end of the day. Well, we do. I do. I go with it, but you. Yeah.
We like change. We like.
We do.
Subscribers and more viewers.
Yeah, more subscribers, please. So more likes, more comments.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
fellas with shit, I don't mind. slag us off. I'm just happy to have the comment.
Happy days.
Yeah, it'd be great. Say what you like.
All for a bit of trolling, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll leave everyone on that note, but we're on it. We're on it with getting everyone gets to watch, so people are getting
Special effects departments let me down this week.
Got a technical glitch.
Yeah, sorry. Lighting's improved though.
We're with Matt anyway.
Yeah. See you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, or whatever it is. No.
Whatever you've got to do, you get it done.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Everybody.
Yeah, man.